Aristophanes, the great comedian, is now to become the great clown. Aristophanes is about to give a wonderful speech about love, and doubtless he knows a great deal about love because he's constantly worshiping Dionysus and Aphrodite. Right? He's a drunken woman chaser, so he knows all about it, doubtless. And he would like to, but he's been overeating and over-drinking, so he gets the hiccups, and he's constantly doing this, and he's hiccuping, and he can't talk. Hiccuping in this case is symbolic. It's not just funny, and it is funny because the idea of a guy trying to give a lovely, eloquent speech and having the hiccups because he's a drunk, all right, undercuts the seriousness and the gravity of the theme we're discussing. In addition to that, it turns out that he doesn't know what to do. He has to ask Eryximachus, "You're the doctor. Help me out. I'm choking. I need some help. I can't give the speech. Please, what can I do?" Eryximachus, the doctor of bodies, prescribes, "Go gargle with water. And if you can't gargle with water, go tickle your nostrils with a feather so you'll sneeze." Sneezing, another kind of reaction, another kind of spasm. Alcibiades, or not Alcibiades, but Aristophanes here is made to be seen as the man that is nothing but physical. He is a set of responses to physical stimuli. He hiccups, he laughs, he sneezes, he pops around the room, constantly prey to physical stimuli. He almost is a man without a soul. He's the ultimate swine. And he's happy like that, too. He doesn't know what it would be like to miss having a soul. He's a pig. So naturally, a pig needs a physical cure, and he's going to get that from the Dr. Eryximachus. So he goes in and tickles his nostril with a feather, and while he's in there performing this glorious operation, Eryximachus decides to take his place in the speeches. And Eryximachus, our doctor of souls, or our doctor of bodies, says, in continuing the argument that had been put together by Pausanias, he says that not only does love reconcile discordant elements in the body, it also reconciles discordant elements in the soul. Since Eryximachus is a doctor, he says that love is actually the origin of the medical art because it shows us how to reconcile disharmonious elements in our physical structure to create the thing we call health of the body. In addition to that, by a kind of extrapolation, love also allows us to glue together the opposite and dissonant elements of the soul to form a harmonious, complete whole, which makes us both blessed and virtuous and wise. So for Eryximachus, love is a god. Love is a god which allows us to create harmony out of dissonance, which allows us to create unity out of plurality, which allows us to create human being out of the comings and goings, out of human becoming. It allows us to create something permanent and eternal. It asks us to perfect ourselves and to perfect those that we love. So Eryximachus' speech is very moving. It's a very beautiful speech. And it's rather brief, and it just serves to fill in until Aristophanes can be brought out and lampooned. He's back now. Eryximachus is just about finished with his speech, and we bring in Aristophanes, the low comedian. And he points out immediately that, "Eryximachus, you're a wonderful doctor. I was in there sneezing and having these various spasms, hiccuping, and now I'm back and I'm ready to talk." One of the most important ironies here is that Aristophanes' speech will be another series of verbal hiccups. It will be a series of spasms that he cannot control and does not understand, and nobody else understands them either. He is going to make up a series of myths which he believes accounts for love, but it only accounts for Aristophanes' kind of love. It accounts for the physical, the animal, the brutal sort of love. It accounts for bronze love, love in the sense of lust, love in the sense of the copulation of animals rather than the union of human beings. It is physical love. And Aristophanes gives us a wonderful myth. And it's just like poets when they don't know what they're talking about to think up some myth that's dangerous to themselves and dangerous to others, that indicates their complete lack of understanding of the nature of philosophy and virtue and goodness. Funny it should turn out to be Aristophanes, the man who doesn't like Socrates. Works out very nicely. Well, what Aristophanes says is this. Way back many, many years ago, at the very beginning of time, people didn't look like they do now. No. They were smacked together so that they had, in fact, 2 heads, 4 arms, 4 legs. And they all used to get around by doing cartwheels. You know the way clowns do at the circus? Right? Well, lots of people used to locomote themselves way back when we were smacked together. And there were 3 kinds of sex back then. There were combinations of 2 men, there were combinations of 2 women, and there were combinations of man and woman. And these creatures are actually our ancestors. They are what we are descended from. And that is the perfect human being. In other words, as we are now, we are not as we were at one time. and we are somehow limited, partial, incomplete. And this has everything to do with mythology and love. According to Aristophanes, the myth goes something like this. Back in the beginning of time, when we all had 2 legs, 4 arms, 4 heads, or 2 legs, 4 arms, and 4 legs, back then, we tried to usurp the position of the gods. We were all sublimely happy, because in this connection of bodies that we have, where the arms and the legs form one big whole, and we all go cartwheeling around, it's analogous, or very similar to, a situation in which we are constantly joined in sexual connection. In other words, back in the good old days, people had sex all the time, constantly. And as a matter of fact, they couldn't help but have sex because they were physically, literally joined together. It wasn't possible to stop having sex. Aristophanes thinks that's great. He can't wait to go back to that. He'd love it. It really pleases him to death. And of course, it's low comedy, no doubt. But because we were so sublimely happy, we decided to usurp our position and try and climb Mount Olympus and take away the position of the gods, to force the gods out and to make gods of ourselves. This made Zeus very upset. And Zeus was so upset, he sent down thunderbolts and decided to split human beings into 2 parts, into parts that you and I are now. Only 1 head per person, only 2 arms per person, only 2 legs. Split the human being into 2, and thereafter, to teach them a lesson, move the heads around so they're looking in the opposite direction, move the genitals up, and then allow them to locomote on 2 legs instead of cartwheeling around the way they used to. And as a consequence of this, the human condition is one of incompletion. We are not complete. We are not finished. We constantly go about looking for our other half. And this, for Aristophanes, is what love is. It is not a god the way it was in the earlier speeches. It is a desire. It is a desire to have physical, bodily connection with something else that is the object of your desire. And it is because you are not complete as you are. Aristophanes' discussion is exclusively related to bodies.